Hey everyone, welcome back to Teenager Therapy. I'm Gael.
I'm Thomas.
I'm Kayla.
I'm Mark.
And welcome to the very special episode because it is our third birthday. The podcast's third birthday.
Awesome possum.
3 years old.
She's
little
3
baby.
years old.
We did it.
She's starting to talk.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Finally.
She is finally, bro.
Took a bit.
I know. 3 years doing this little thing.
Yep.
That's crazy.
156 episodes.
That is crazy to think about.
You gonna cry?
No.
156 episodes.
No, I will not be crying, hopefully.
Alright. For sure.
But I have.
It's totally valid, man. You know, this is a milestone. Very proud of us,
It
guys.
definitely is. Like, since sophomore year,
A lot of growth.
we were children.
We
A lot of
were.
We still are
lessons
children, by the
learned.
way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is coming out on Friday.
This is.
It's coming on
your
my birthday, y'all.
too. Wow,
And
both
coming
Mark's
babies.
It's coming on my birthday.
You're no longer a baby. You're a man.
Yeah. See,
How old are you?
I'm gonna be turning 18 now.
No, you are 18.
I am going to be 8. I am 18 now.
You're 18 now.
Yes. I feel like this connection I made with the podcast, you know, I could represent it by my age, because every time we reach like this point, my age goes up.
Age goes up.
Yes.
Age
There's
goes
a
up.
correlation.
It's like a 2-in-1.
Yeah, and this is what this episode is about.
A 2 and
Your
1.
birthday.
Oh yeah,
Her birthday. Damn. Yeah, 156 episodes
That's
week
crazy.
after week.
Holy crap!
The thing that like always gets me
What?
is thinking about having to do it all over again. Like if everything went away and you had to restart, I'd be like, holy shit, that's so much work.
That's a
And
lot
it was
of
it was a lot of work, honestly. Like,
Yeah.
It was.
We did that.
We did do
Keep
that.
on your mind how much work it actually takes to like
For real.
keep on doing this podcast.
For real.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of work. I think it's Go ahead.
it takes a lot of work because we're putting the work into the friendship. Whereas like most friendships, like if something would go wrong, it would just like
stop.
you know, yeah, it would just stop. But
Right.
we had to put a lot of work into
That's true.
building that bond with each other.
Yeah.
It's a commitment for sure.
It
lot
really
of
is.
commitment.
Yeah, the biggest commitment is like the friendship, which is kind of funny because the way, I don't know, I mean, most podcasts, I feel like you kind of just talk about, how do I put it? Okay, well, most podcasts is sort of like a group of like men usually, but whatever, also women. And like it's like them talking about whatever issues come up. Like a lot of like men just kind of talk about like games or whatever, like superficial, just like sports, games. Not to say all men, but just the majority is like some of the biggest podcasts is kind of like hobbies, stuff like that.
Oh yeah, hobby. That's a good word to describe it.
Hobbies. So a lot of the top podcasts are just kind of like hobbies and stuff. And I feel like that doesn't necessarily take as much effort, at least when it comes to like the co-working relationship, if you have co-hosts. But if you're talking about your feelings, I feel like obviously you kind of have to be close with everyone so you could actually get those good conversations, or else it's kind of like it's not even something you're interested in doing. So that's been a real challenge. We've had like 5 major arcs, right? Like 5 major arcs.
What do you mean by that?
Like 5 major little like fights or whatnot.
Yeah.
What was the first one?
I know there was
No
one.
clue.
It was me and you.
Oh yeah,
That's a-
the Ariana Grande one.
You?
Oh yeah. Oh shit.
Yo, Mario had beef with everyone. Yeah,
Oh, no.
ours was like over. I just remember it. Let's call it the
Ariana Grande.
Ariana phase.
Basically.
What?
It just started because of
Just,
Ariana.
just to simply put it, go listen to the podcast episode. We're
remember.
like completely different people.
I was
Wait,
a
what
trip
happened?
listening
I
to that
forgot.
again.
That like I feel like I blocked out like every fucking little fight we have had. I just blocked it
Wait,
out
I'm so
because
confused.
Okay,
What happened
that's like
with
too much for
Ariana?
me.
It was like I made a bitchy comment. I used to be so mean, like even
Oh,
meaner
really?
than I am now. Yo, like no, sometimes I like remember the shit I used to say. I'm like, damn, I was like very straight up. Like I did not
Yeah.
have a filter. I made mean jokes all the time.
You're so dumb.
I know, but not as mean as before. Like before, it was like even worse.
You changed.
A little
You know,
bit.
That's the whole point.
We all matured.
I'm
Exactly.
matured. Yeah, I think It was. I basically just said like, "What, you're gonna cry about it?"
What did you?
I think so.
That's crazy.
Right?
About everyone.
Damn.
Isn't that like if I said that now, I feel like it'd be like, whoa.
Yeah, cause I don't know. I just got offended because because I guess I was like into Ariana Grande and
No, I think it's because the
I really
basically
don't.
whatever. I made a mean joke about you crying,
Okay.
Oh,
For sure.
so that was like the Mark and Gail
Yeah.
phase.
Yeah.
that goes against our podcast.
Yeah,
but
Crying is okay.
for real.
Yeah.
It was a joke, guys. Please.
that episode was long.
It
Like
was.
an hour long.
I completely forgot
Dude,
about that.
I don't remember any episodes.
You know what?
really.
Maybe for our 3rd year anniversary, we should do like an episode, a YouTube or a podcast episode where we react to old episodes.
Oh God.
Oh god.
And
I don't
listen
like
to
listening
That's
to my
painful.
voice.
That's why it's such
I can
a
watch
good thing.
snippets, but I can't listen
Yeah.
to my own.
And even watching snippets, I'm like, oh God.
Yeah.
I feel a little cringe at myself.
What's
For
it
sure.
called? And then we had the
Yeah,
the
what's
Mark
the next
and the Mark and Kayla arc.
Everybody knows.
Everybody knows that.
Everybody
I
knows
remember
that
that
one.
Yeah,
That one was like monumental.
That was crazy.
it was
'Cause it was
pretty
like the
big.
Big first one, wasn't it?
And we all took
it
a
involved
big
me.
lesson from it. Yeah, Kayla
Oh
was
yeah,
the
for
bee.
sure.
Me of all
Huge,
people.
Huge lesson.
For real, she
Yeah.
got herself into drama, bro.
Yeah. It was high school.
What
was
can
bound
you
to
do?
happen.
What can
For
you
sure.
do?
So
It was the Isaac arc.
Yo!
Isaac
okay, we already
arc.
have 3 so far.
I
Yeah,
forgot about
yeah,
that.
the
That's
Isaac
crazy.
arc.
You guys have at least 2.
No, I was literally gonna say
Yeah.
like, oh, and I.
It was probably the longest arc out there. you
Yeah.
know.
The Thomas
Still
and Gail
kinda there.
arc. I feel like the Thomas and Gail arc was big, very big in like 29,
19, 18.
20. Like, I feel like Thomas has his own arc. So Thomas has his own arc, the
Yep.
Thomas arc, and then
Yeah.
it was like the Gail and Thomas arc, which was like another one.
Word.
I was going through a lot,
Yeah. So like,
and I
5
lashed
arcs.
out at everybody, and this podcast.
Yeah.
You fatty. Just kidding. He didn't say that.
Where did that come from?
Val has been thinking about that for a long time.
Yeah, he just wanted to
He's
say
been
that.
wanting
Yeah.
to say mean jokes right now.
For real, I want to go back to my roots. I was a lot happier then, wasn't I? Now look
funny.
at me. I'm a shell of the man I once was.
Oh shit!
So poetic.
Thank you.
I kind of like that.
Thank
But
Wait.
yeah, this podcast.
Oh my God, I thought it was shaking. Again.
Friendship. Friendship
I
has
thought I
been
felt
really
the couch move.
No
Sorry.
worries.
Kayla thinks we're in an earthquake because we had one like 10 minutes ago.
Yeah.
But we're not.
Sorry.
You're all good, Kayla. Hey, look at me. You're okay. 5 big arcs of our friendship that we've overcome.
Woo.
Still here after 3 years.
Let's do it.
I don't know what else is there to our little podcast.
I don't know. I just feel like this podcast has made us go through a lot. Like, we are already going through a lot, but to add this podcast on top of it so that we had to confront what we were going through and like confront each other about stuff. I feel like, I don't know, it's kind of weird, like, for all of you guys to kind of be part of each argument we've had,
Yeah.
each little crisis that we had gone through.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
We've been through a lot as just like, you know, individuals and like as a group. And
It really
I don't know.
forced us to grow.
you guys have
No, for
been there
sure.
for like every single part. Like,
Basically.
it's crazy.
It's definitely something new to me. I never done this with like any other friendship.
Same. Never had a podcast before.
I was like,
No, in terms of like just confronting each other,
Yeah.
you know, for our problems, and like you said, it does force us to grow, and that's something that I've noticed. You know, every time I go into an argument, what was I gonna say? What was I going
Can you
to
talk
say?
about
I'm a little more open about it now,
Okay.
or a little open about my feelings and shit like that.
fun?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
tight as fuck.
I think it's taught me a lot about healthy relationships because I don't know, I just feel like before I didn't really have real life examples of those, like, you know, like with my family or even like other friends where, you know, we wouldn't say what bothered us or anything like that just for the sake of like trying to keep like quote unquote peaceful environment or whatever. But yeah, it's taught me a lot about like communication and just like being honest. And also just being honest with myself, you know, like I've learned a lot from just like watching you guys too. You know, like Thomas, like you're so open with your emotions and everything like that. Like, it's definitely made me more open to stuff like that.
It got a lot
And, like,
easier, right? To
yeah, it definitely
communicate?
got a lot easier. And like, you know, with Guile and Mark and you guys also being honest, I don't know, it just makes it a lot more comfortable, I guess, for me to be vulnerable about my feelings.
I think like after 3 years, this podcast has became a really safe place for us to talk about.
Yeah.
And
awesome.
sometimes I forget that there's like a whole audience listening. Like
Right.
it's like, hello, wait.
You guys are just listening in.
Yeah,
For
and
real.
like it has a very weird like effect on me because I'm not very comfortable like with a big crowd of people. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
Whenever I think, because there's people I know in person that have listened to the podcast too, and whenever like they bring it up, I can't stand it. And like I literally cannot stand it. Like I had somebody come up to me today, some stranger in my business discussion,
Dope.
and like he was just saying, "Oh yeah, I checked out the podcast and blah," and I was like, "That's cool," but it reminded me that everything is out there and it comes at a price because I don't necessarily know if I want everything out there. Even though, you know, it is out there.
Yeah.
It's both bad and good because I don't. Sometimes it's nice to like keep things personal.
Have your own privacy.
Yeah, you know.
Makes sense.
Yeah, but everything's out there. You guys know everything, and I hate it. But I also like it.
He
Does
wants
that
to be
make
so
sense?
mysterious.
Like
This
I don't
and
know.
that.
It
I
makes
don't know.
me embarrassed in a way. Like. Because you guys have seen very different people,
Yeah.
like when it comes to me and, you know, everybody else. We have been very different people throughout the years with different personalities and just different ways of thinking. And maybe it doesn't seem like we changed that much. I hope you guys don't think that, but like, I don't know. We've gone through a lot of changes. And I don't like that there's like an image of me out there. That there's that I hate being perceived, and I know that this podcast kind of just forces me to be perceived in very different ways.
You don't have that much control of your image as much as you would like to.
Yeah.
It's not all precise.
Exactly.
Right. That's interesting. I'm like the opposite. I guess I don't really care all too much how people see me, which it comes out of fault because I'm okay with like sharing every one of my opinions, and sometimes it's a stupid fucking opinion, and then people are like, holy shit, like that's so stupid, you're stupid, or like that's so dumb, like so problematic or whatnot. Like sometimes TikTok clips of me saying like a stupid opinion go viral, and the comments are like, "What the fuck?" Like, like I make a joke, and they're like, "What the fuck, you fucking misogynist pig, little bitch of shit." And I'm like, "Ooh, maybe I am a little misogynist little pig, bro."
What are you referring to?
No,
Which
like
clip?
when me and Kayla have a clip, and I was like, "Oh, so why are you falling into that?" Because patriarchy, and people were
okay.
like, the way he just shut her up, and I'm like, "Oh my god."
I think a large part of that is because like the clips are only 1 minute.
Yeah,
Very
of,
out
like,
of context.
a 30-minute
Oh, for
episode
sure.
or
Taken
something
out of
like that.
context
And
for
also
sure.
like you have to listen to a lot of episodes to fully understand like, our personalities and stuff.
You gotta listen to a lot to really comprehend. Or,
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I know. So that's why it doesn't affect me too much. But sometimes I'm like, ugh, I need to
No,
like
yeah,
watch my
it's
words
okay.
because it could get taken out of context easily. And it is frustrating sometimes when like something gets taken out of context and then like
They don't even listen to it.
yeah, they're like,
They
no,
don't
that's
give you a
not what I
chance.
said. Like
Yeah.
there's a whole nother thing. But I think for me, if there's one downside that I have about being in a podcast is more about how do I say it, when people aren't open to having the discussion, like especially when we have like a problematic view or like say something that not a lot of people agree with, and a lot of people's first reaction is to like attack you for it, right? Like when we talked about acne and stuff, people were like, "Oh, that's how shitty. Like, what the fuck?" I'm like, "Well, let me explain myself. Let me say this," and it's like, "Okay, that's kind of whatever. Okay, whatever." But I still like think it's terrible. Don't have that opinion. So I always, I that was always been frustrating, is because there's sometimes we get comments that is like people not trying to understand or see, which is expected, but I wish everyone was like a little bit more open to acknowledging sometimes we have like wrong opinions. But yeah, that's something that I think is important, that I hope to slowly change, maybe by just doing the podcast.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
a very important thing for like us, for everybody to acknowledge, is that this podcast is not perfect at all. And at the beginning, we tried really hard for it to be. We would refilm what we said.
Oh, yeah,
If we
for sure.
made a mistake, we would just like redo the entire
Yeah.
fucking
We'd
episode.
be like, okay, cut it.
Yeah.
Cut it.
Oh, we always
Yeah.
cut
Yeah,
it.
literally.
Like, but nowadays, everything that we say, it's all in there.
That's
like,
awesome.
we don't cut it out.
That's cool.
And I think we have just come to realize that it's not supposed to be perfect.
Yeah.
Like, we're gonna say the wrong things. We're gonna misinterpret what we say. People are gonna misinterpret what we say. And yeah, like, I feel like it's just like we're not like professional podcasters. We're just teenagers having a podcast.
Yeah.
Literally.
I think
Like,
because-
that's the thing.
I think because sometimes like we have a following and people actually listen,
Mhm.
some might use that as like an excuse to put us on a pedestal and think that like, okay, they know what they're saying because they have so many followers. But the whole point of this podcast is to just express our opinions and feelings. And I mean, we're people at the end of the day. And to say that, like, to criticize somebody, like thinking that you haven't done anything wrong, that's just hypocritical, you know? And I feel like that's a big part of the internet, like not just podcasting, but just in general, where people will just like mob others with hate because they have a following and they think it's like cool or trendy. But yeah, it sucks that we are exposed to that. And I feel like we can't really change it all that much, at least not immediately. Maybe it'll be like a slow, gradual growth, but it's just something that we have to accept in the meantime.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
like just like a big sacrifice we have to make for just like the overall movement, like the message, like what we're trying to do.
Yeah,
You know, vulnerability. It's like all about mental health. Like,
for real.
if you really think about it, I know we talk about random ass shit, and sometimes mental health is like not even the discussion at all. And I forget that it is about mental health, but I don't know. I feel like we are just trying our best. And I
Yeah.
wish people would just like understand that. And I liked what Kayla said about the pedestal thing. I didn't realize that, but the following did make me feel very
Mhm.
pressured to like act different or like create a certain image of myself through the podcast or through social media.
Yeah. And was it something that was true to yourself, this image?
No, I feel like, or I don't even know anymore. I feel like because of like Instagram, this podcast, and just my social life, personal life, it's also different because of all the different perceptions people have that I don't even know how to perceive myself sometimes.
Yeah, and it's sort of like blended together, huh? So you can't
Yeah.
even like distinguish what's what.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's a little confusing.
It is. And I feel like that's like the one thing I still struggle with
Yeah.
about the podcast. I don't mind being confrontational and I don't mind talking about my feelings, but it's just not feeling embarrassed or like about it, I guess,
Yeah.
or being scared of judgment. Because I feel like I'm more scared of judgment more than ever.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. Just as we grow more and more, and I feel like as more people know about us, I feel like going to U.S.A, it kind of made it worse.
Yeah, 'cause it
there's
made the-
people who
yeah.
like actually listen to it. Hello.
Hi, fight on.
Fight on, guys. But you know, they listen to it, and so I have people that I
Images.
know in person who is listening
Oh.
to what I'm saying, and that just like, how are they going to judge me when they see
I
me
see
in
that.
person? People say they get different, like, oh, you're not how I thought you would be, and stuff like that. And I'm just like,
Whoa.
no, don't say that, like,
Yeah.
because I'm literally going to reinvent myself right now.
Oh man.
Yeah, I sort
Yeah.
of go through that, but like I don't think to the extent that you do. Like when people tell me that they listen to the podcast, my immediate like thought is, what do they know about me? And yeah, I guess it's like they already have this preconceived notion of me in their head, and like would I live up to that notion, or like would I just be the same or something like that? But wait, what was I gonna say? I had a good thought.
Damn.
Wait, I had a good thought.
It's
Wait.
still good.
An unfinished thought.
That
Oh yeah,
sounds
okay.
familiar.
But the thing that gets me is that what I say on the podcast and how I act on the podcast, that's my personality. So like for me to be the same way in person, like it should be the same. Do
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
Because it's like I'm not putting up an act for this,
Mhm.
but at the same time, you guys only see like, 30 to an hour maybe of me every week. So it's not like exactly the same. So it's like they know who I am, but they don't.
Sometimes I feel like everything about me is already out there, and it makes me hesitant on like letting people know more about me.
Yeah.
Like it's like, well, everybody already kind of knows what I've gone through and the kind of person I am. So why would they make the effort, or why would I make the effort to form a deeper connection when they already know everything?
Well, because it's one-sided.
Yeah, right.
You don't
yeah,
know
if
anything about them.
I think about this all the time.
Yeah.
It's horrible. It haunts me. Just every time I meet somebody new that like listens to the podcast, I just think like, well, they know everything about me. So would they be interested in knowing more? Like, do they know me? Because I don't even know
That's
who
so
I am.
interesting. I never.
Yeah,
thought
I
of
never
it
heard of
way.
that before. This is new.
Like that. Did
I've
not
always
pop into my head.
I've always felt this way. I feel
Yeah.
like when we hit like the second year mark, this is when I really started to like think
Word.
about this.
And
Because
that's
we are getting more popular.
yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to say I think that's why it's so important to like have your own privacy, so you can just have something to yourself and not just for. Because I don't think everything is meant to be like posted online to be public, because then you don't have that sense of like ownership of who you are.
Okay, I think that's exactly what happened to me. I was too vulnerable in the
Yeah.
beginning. And because compared to
too
now,
far.
there are things that I know better than to talk about on here.
Yeah.
But before, if like this was like 2018 me talking, like I would still be airing out my problems on here. And because of that, I feel like I don't really have that sense of privacy or like control in my
Word.
life.
Yeah.
Do you think that you're able to take back that control though? Like, do you think
I feel
you
like
still have it in you?
slowly, like, because I'm so vulnerable, obviously,
That's
but
good.
I'm not as vulnerable, obviously, as like, the beginning, and I want to keep it like that because I always thought that there wasn't anything wrong, like nothing could go wrong if you're more vulnerable. You
Yeah.
know, there's no consequence,
Mm.
but there is a consequence, and I just am learning that when you put too much of yourself out there, and then people perceive that in different ways, then you just don't really know how to like feel about yourself anymore. So yeah, not sharing as much of my life on the podcast anymore. Yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. I'm just not as vulnerable.
I don't know if I've ever felt that way, to be honest. And I think a big part of my problem as to why I don't like share these same issues is that one, I just don't think about them often. Like I forget a lot of things. And so I forget to think about the fact that everything's out there, and so it just doesn't affect me because I don't think about it. I don't process it. But I think I kind of understand what you mean by people perceive you in different ways. Kind of makes you question like just what's right, what's wrong. Like let's say you share an opinion or you share like a problem and you think it's a problem, and then a lot of people are like, oh, that's not even a problem at all. Like why are you even, you're like, oh shit, like maybe I'm just, I don't know. It kind of messes with you a little bit because then you start to think like, oh shoot, maybe I shouldn't think that.
Yeah, it makes you question like your own opinions and stuff,
Yeah.
especially when you have like a lot of people on the internet saying like, oh, well, I disagree with this, or really, like, why'd you say that, or whatever. Yeah, it's just like falling into peer pressure, kind of.
Yeah.
I feel like it just
Exactly.
has created a lot of self-resentment and like hatred on my end. Like I'm just finding ways to shame myself for what I have said, or yeah. If you guys don't know this about me, I just care what people think about me so much that my life kind of revolves around it at this point.
I've definitely seen how like the internet, social media, like especially Instagram has like affected Thomas, and it makes me hesitant to just like post even, because I don't want to give like Instagram or just social media in general that power over me. Like I don't even want it to affect me even more than it is. And not to say that it's affecting me a lot right now. Like, well, it's not affecting me because I don't really post. So sorry. But yeah, it just makes me reluctant because I see how it's affected Thomas, and I don't want that mindset at all, you know? And I think a big part of that is just because I care what other people think at the end of the day. Like, if I didn't care, I would just be posting what I wanted, but I do at the end of the day. But I do think it's nice that my followers are from the podcast. Like, if somebody follows me, it's because they actually like me, you know? So yeah, I really, really enjoy that, because I know some people like some influencers, they have followers, you know, just because of their looks or something, which is completely okay, you know? But I like that my followers know me more than that, or at least the majority of them do. But it's still hard for me to like feel comfortable posting. And I recognize it's because I'm giving it that power. Like I'm putting so much emphasis on like a feed post or a story post or whatever. But at the same time, like it just takes me a while to be fully comfortable with doing that. Yeah, that's how I feel.
I think for me, I recognize that power. And so I use it to my advantage, because I kind of see Instagram or just like social media as a way to have control over like how people perceive me.
Oh.
Like, okay, that sounded a little morbid, but yeah, like I feel like I'm always striving for perfection, and I know I'm not going to get it from this podcast. And that makes me mad sometimes that like people don't have like a perfect like perception of me.
Mm-hmm.
But they probably don't care. But for, you know, Instagram and stuff, I know that what I'm posting is like the best version of myself, or like what I believe is the best version of myself. And so I know people are going to like it. And
So you feed into it.
Yeah, exactly. That's how I get a lot of my validation. I get a lot of my validation from just knowing that people, you know, like a certain version of myself. And that version is what I put out there.
And this makes me think, like, I feel like social media, especially Instagram, it just feels like one big competition sometimes. And I hate it. Like, I hate feeling that, like, I have to compete in, like, oh, like, you know, this photo's gonna be better than, like, you know, like my past photo, or it's gonna be better than somebody else's, like, so another influencer's post or whatever.
Yeah.
And I just hate it. I hate having to feel like I have to live up to, like, a standard. So that's why I just try to avoid it, I guess. And also because, like, a big part of it is comparing, you know, like, myself to other people. Like, even if I were to try taking like Instagram photos, like I get so self-critical sometimes, and that's why I don't like it. It's like, if I don't like it and it makes me feel like shit sometimes, then why am I gonna do it? You know?
Yeah.
I
think
think sorry.
Go
At
ahead.
the same let me stop you right there. At the same time, when I do post, it reminds me of like, why was I worried in the first place?
Okay.
So I think I just
cool.
hype it all up in my head.
Yeah.
And then when I actually do post, I'm like, oh, why was I worried? Like, people are so nice.
Social
like,
media has this control over me that
exactly.
no one can.
Oh wait,
I know.
people
No,
care.
literally, that's the thing. So it's like so conflicting in my head. Like, you know, obviously, like everything is always worse in your head
of course.
than
for
when
sure.
it actually happens.
Yeah.
And so, like, I'm pretty sure, like, right now, as I'm saying this, and then if I were to look back in like a few months or something, I'd be like, bro, you were so dramatic.
This control.
I
that
know.
exists.
As his grip on me. But yeah, so it's like really conflicting.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's something that I still struggle with, obviously.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping
I
to
could
get
see
better
that.
because when I do post, like, I love when people reply and everything because it just makes me feel like, I don't know, content, you know, like they're my friends.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just so hard to like actually push myself to do it.
Yes, I
You
agree.
know?
I feel like okay, I understand that this is a problem for me. And so slowly but surely I am posting more like things that are like genuinely like things I like. So it makes me question like isn't the best version of myself that I put out there, it's still a version of me that I like about myself? Like it's still me.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not like ethically like good me, but like does that make
Ethically good.
like I don't know if that means like I don't know if people understand what I'm trying to get at. Like
I'm trying to.
like okay.
If that's
like,
what?
Like I don't know if it's genuinely me, like deep down me, because I don't know
Or
who deep down-
superficially you?
or sure,
Surface
but even
level?
then, isn't superficial me still me?
But not the real you.
Ooh.
But it's still me if you think about
It's
it.
just like
Like-
a surface level version
Yeah,
of you.
it's like 2%.
Okay, you know what? That's a good way to think about it. My Instagram is just surface level me,
Yeah.
but the podcast is like
well, that makes
everything.
sense. That makes a lot of sense. I
So
feel like
do you
it is like
sometimes
that.
think that like because your Instagram is superficial, the podcast makes up for it?
Oh, word.
Well,
Because I
that's a
sometimes
good way to
like
think
I
about
sometimes
that.
think like because I'm not as active on like social media or like I don't post like vulnerable stuff on there,
Yeah.
the podcast makes up for it.
Word.
Do you know what I mean?
That- balances
okay,
out.
you know what?
Yeah,
Sometimes
like it
I try to-
balances out. Yeah,
I try
exactly.
to think about it like that, but I don't know. Maybe I just like because it's like conflicting sometimes. Living
Why?
kind of like a double life. Not double life. I don't want to.
Is it because like they
Okay,
don't?
Hannah Montana.
Is it?
Okay.
I don't
it-
want to put it like that.
Is it because they don't match with each other?
It's because you're.
Would you guys
superficial-
say that like it wouldn't match? Okay, guys. Here's for listeners.
We're not gonna validate? What do you
Yeah.
think?
Yo,
What do you think?
No,
It's up to
listeners,
you.
I want to know.
What?
Do you think? Oh, listeners. Okay. I want to know. I don't know how you guys are gonna answer this question. So
In the comments
maybe
below.
comments, DM me.
Or
I
yeah.
don't know. Yeah, DM me preferably. I will try to respond. But do you feel like my Instagram is like still me, or when you see it, are you like that's not Thomas?
I just don't feel. I think when the only way that question would be answered as a no would be if like on the podcast you were like this very shy kid, because people associate Instagram and actually posting on Instagram with confidence and ego.
For sure, ego. Yeah.
And that, right? Ego and confidence. And if your personality doesn't make you seem like you're someone that has either confidence or at least a little bit of ego, people are going to answer no. But since all of us here have shown that we have some confidence and some ego, I feel like they would answer yes, because Instagram doesn't show anything else than do you have confidence and an ego. So if, for example, right now, like I was just like really shy, like let's say Isaac, who's like a little bit more toned down, right? If on his Instagram he had like a bunch of fits, like wild ass fits, people would be like, yeah, that doesn't seem like the type.
Makes sense.
Makes sense. Makes a
That
lot
makes
of sense.
sense.
May I just feel like I'm just so self-critical. And I'm
Don't
probably-
validate him.
I know.
Don't validate him.
You know what? Don't comment down below.
Don't DM me. I'm sorry. But yeah, that's just like a dilemma that's kind of been going on. So podcast has done a lot of good and a little bit of bad, but mainly good.
interesting.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's cool. I don't experience any of this, at least not to the extreme which is so funny because I just think
Oh, that's good.
some. No,
Yeah,
I
no,
I
it's good.
can't tell if it's good.
Why?
Because
It's
sometimes
good.
like the fact that everyone else around me experiences this makes me feel like I'm like not thinking about it. I'm like, oh shit, maybe I should be thinking about this
No,
more.
you shouldn't.
Yeah,
No.
yeah.
Maybe not, right? Maybe I'm healthy and I'm
Yeah,
like
literally.
I feel like the odd one out because everyone else is unhealthy around me. I hope that's the case. Sorry for you guys, but great for me. Because the way I see it is like if I, because the only type of frustration I feel from social media is the fact that like sometimes I'm like, bro, I'm like tired of having to constantly get a better fit, a better outfit, buy more clothes to have a better outfit because you can't wear the same one. And sometimes that like chase I get tired of. I'm like, whatever, I really don't care. I'm just wear the same fit or I'm just not gonna post because I don't care that much anymore. Like I'm tired of having to chase that. But then other times I'm like, ooh, but now I like really, really want to like have a really good fit and like make a really good
I
post.
feel like that's sort of the fun part about Instagram too, is that like you can dress up. And I just think it's so fun, you know, like putting outfits together and just like being cute.
Yeah.
I guess so.
Yeah.
So it's just like for me, it's just like if tomorrow I'm like, you know what, I really want to post, I'll post. And then the next day I'm like, I'm so tired of this, I'll just stop. So I guess I don't attach myself to like I have to do this one thing or this. Like I either post or I don't post or anything. It's just kind of like whatever I feel, I just do it without a lot of hesitation. So it's just it's a very simple thought process for me. Like, do I want to do it? Yes. Do I not want to do it? Okay, I won't do it. And
I
some
like
people
that.
kind of overthink as like, well, maybe I do, but I secretly don't want to. Or maybe I do want to, but I secretly want to tell
No.
myself that I do. But
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
it's a lot of overthinking. I think
Mhm.
the issue comes because you start to doubt yourself.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's the same thing with me.
Yeah.
I don't really overthink it too much. I sort of have like this reputation just to post like on the same day where I take my
Oh
photos,
my god.
like immediately.
I don't know how he does it.
Yo, I just
Like,
He doesn't
no,
even edit
Like
them.
literally no. Like one time, was it at the beach?
probably.
Yeah, it
we
was
were
the
we
beach.
were at the beach
Yeah.
and Mark was like, take some pictures of me, and I was like, okay. Literally 15 minutes later they're up with the caption, everything.
Yeah,
I'm
and
like, how? It takes me like a day minimum
To
just
figure out the caption alone.
to figure out
the
the caption and also just
Oh
like
my
to get the
gosh.
courage to finally post, you know? Like before even like hitting that post button, I like stare at the picture. I'm like, should it be like this? I just like stare at it, waiting for that moment of courage.
Mhm.
And I'll
Yeah.
tell myself, okay, just do it on three.
Really?
And then I do it, and then like I can't be on my phone
Oh,
afterwards.
Yeah.
You're
I
still
can't.
old
I
Kayla
can't.
at
Oh
heart.
no.
Yeah, I still need to get used to that. I need to post more.
Yeah.
But you guys heard what I said earlier
For sure.
about my conflict.
Yeah.
So
I feel like these are just such unique experiences.
Yeah.
Then like people are probably like, what the fuck are they talking about?
know.
Like it's just Instagram. Why are they such tryhards?
Nah, I think people
Um,
feel it a lot too.
Maybe.
I
but-
see it like I don't know. People just get like go through extremes. It's like one extreme or one extreme. Either like they really really care or they don't care at all.
maybe it
And I
might be
think-
helpful to get a spam.
I think it's the way
Spam.
you look at it too, because for me at least, like I think of my Instagram as like I sort of take pride that I can like post so fast, and I think that itself like is enough to give me that self-esteem boost. You know what I mean?
Yeah, depends on
Because-
what your expectations are.
Yeah, because if I don't care, then I don't care, and that's honestly like really really cool, and that's
like that.
like I said,
Yeah,
like,
that's
I take
good.
pride in that.
But yeah, because if you seek perfection, it's gonna give you anxiety.
Oh,
but if
for
if your
sure.
mindset's already like, I don't really care what it looks like, it could be bad, but I'm just gonna do it. Like,
Yeah.
there's no anxiety.
And sometimes I do look at my post, and I'm like, oh, that's not really a good picture of me, but I'm like, that's already posted, so
whatever,
really doing
just
it, yeah.
whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
And if
yeah.
you're always striving for perfection, you're always gonna be let down.
me.
So.
Yeah. Oh,
I feel like that's like that's the root of all issues.
Perfection,
of
huh?
mine. Perfection.
Oh man.
I've struggled with it my entire life. I always want my life to be perfect. The way people see me, I want it to be perfect.
Yeah.
I want my social life to be perfect.
Yeah.
I want, everything to be perfect, but it's just like so unachievable and unrealistic.
Yeah.
And like there really is no like perfect life that nobody can really like get. So yeah, I'm just always disappointing myself. But it's something that I am working on.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's not as bad as before. Like if there's an ugly photo, actually, I don't know.
Let's not go too far.
Okay. Yeah.
If
If there's an ugly photo, like sometimes I'll just say fuck it. No.
there are probably a few posts on my Instagram right now that I don't like, but I'll keep it up.
Just because it's not perfect, but that's okay.
Yeah,
And that's the point.
and that's growth.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's
That's
your
awesome.
Gonna unlock a
That's-
whole new level of happiness that you never knew possible once you stop trying to be perfect. Like you're gonna like be like, holy shit, like I can't believe I used to be like that. Like it's like that change, like that we said right now, that in the future we're gonna be like, holy shit, like why did I
Yeah.
think? Like you're gonna
Yeah.
realize like, damn,
And I'm looking forward to that.
it's not us right
exciting.
now.
Yeah.
Like we can't, even if we tried hard, we can't do it right now. But like
Takes time.
suddenly you look back, you're like, oh shit, I'm already here.
Yeah.
So-
Yes.
And it's nice that, you're able to acknowledge it.
That's
and,
good, yeah.
talk
The thing
about
is,
it.
like, I know all of my issues. Like
No,
every
yeah.
single one. I know them all.
Knowing
It's just going about it is like what's hard.
Knowing is only like half the battle. Doing
Half
it and
is, like, the
Great
executing.
first step.
It's the first
Yeah.
quarter of the battle.
First quarter.
First
First
base.
quarter.
Whole
Yeah.
lot of shit out there.
But the podcast definitely just helped like speed up a lot of things because
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, at least for everyone and for me, it really helped me. Whether this is like, this is probably like, if you're like very anti-capitalist, this is probably like your worst nightmare, but it really helped speed up like my, what's the word? I guess maybe my comfortable level in like the real world or whatever, or like the job world.
Mm-hmm.
That I see a lot of people in like my college classes, or like even people that are graduating college now that are like 4 years older than me, that when I see them, I talk to them, I like, get to know them or whatever, they seem less experienced than I do. And maybe not on a technical standpoint, but just on like how everything works. And sometimes it really surprises me because this podcast has taught me like so much and exposed me to so many things. It like sped up what like 4 years of school would have like not even been enough to like get to this point, because there's so much you learn by just experiencing. So it's like, I guess I'm glad that I started it and it became such a thing, because even all of us, like even though you guys weren't like the main, like in the main business part of it, like just the things that like trickled down or whatnot, like expose you to different things.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
And it's just like you're ahead by a good bit, which is so wow, that like experience.
Exactly. It definitely unlocked like a whole new perspective towards everything, and like what they say, like the real world.
The
or
real
whatever,
world.
You
You
know?
dream about one.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm just like so extremely like grateful that I was able to have this opportunity. Like, thank you guys for inviting me. I'll never forget that day.
That
but,
table.
Yeah.
Let's go back to that
Target,
table.
You with the cheese.
The
You
cheese.
taking pictures with the
Oh, I
cheese in my
forgot.
hydrant
Yeah,
right
okay.
there.
This is fire.
The Calvin Klein shirt.
Oh my god.
But yeah, I'm so grateful for the opportunities that I was able to have because of this.
Yeah, honestly.
And yeah, I just feel like, my personal growth and my like professional growth, it was just a huge part of it was accredited to this podcast. Like I'm so sure I would not have been able to like attend the school I'm going to right now hadn't like not been for the podcast, and just the opportunities that were granted to me because of the podcast, and because now I'm able to go to like a really good private university. It's crazy because it gave me such an advantage. So yeah, it's very crazy to think about.
Yeah. Okay. I know I just like shit on like the podcast is like impact on me.
The worst thing
but-
to happen to me.
But I do owe the podcast like a lot of gratitude, and like you guys, listeners especially. Like, yeah, just like exactly what Kayla said. A lot of growth happened because of this podcast, and I feel like if I wasn't part of this podcast, I would probably be stuck in like the same toxic like mental health state and like mindset that I was in like 8th grade. I feel like I wouldn't have changed, and it wouldn't have like encouraged me to get help, get professional help, or really open up about like my feelings and like find a community that really does support me. I always forget that like the people, like the thousands of people who listen to us and like interact with us, like they support us, and like that's just like so sweet to think about, because it can like feel very lonely sometimes. And I don't know, I forget that there's a lot of people who like genuinely really like us, and they want to be our friends, and like in a way you guys are our friends. But
Yeah.
yeah, like Kayla said, would not have been able to get into U.S.A. without this podcast, so thank you. And yeah, just very grateful for all the opportunities and everything.
And I'm also grateful for like you guys, obviously, like we obviously like we're friends. We're not meant to get along all the time. But at the end of the day, I think we all pushed ourselves, and at the end of the day we helped each other like be better.
For sure. We definitely pushed each other to be better. I just like you guys, I have a strong appreciation for everything that this podcast brought. It found me in a bad spot, and because of that I got to become a way better person that I was like a couple years ago. Crazy how it was only like 3 years, but so much shit has happened in these 3 years. I'm very proud to be the person that I am today. And you know what like what they say, like current you is a product of everything, every little experience that you've had. And this podcast is a very huge factor. It's the greatest common factor, actually, if you take that
So
out.
true.
You know what I mean? So yeah, no,
Math
awesome job,
terms.
dude. Very, very awesome
Yeah.
possum.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. Sometimes like I forget how like big of a step this was, at least towards, especially I think my like journey into like adulthood, because I just imagine where I would be right now. Let's say I didn't have a podcast, like it would just be school, and like it's like to think that I would have to have started from like the very beginning. I don't know. It makes me so glad that like this worked out and you guys listened and we got a lot of listeners and you guys really liked it, because it's just like just by you listening and like unlocked opportunities for us. And so I'm internally in debt to you for listening. So
Yeah.
thank you.
Thank you guys for sticking around
3 years.
Yeah.
Thank you.
a
I know.
whole lot of time.
It's a whole lot of time. Yeah, we were like we really were 15. Sometimes
Yeah.
like that's a whole long
That's
time ago.
crazy.
15 years old was like, damn. It feels like I haven't been 15 for so long.
Yeah. 3 years
Even
to be
16
exact.
seems like
A long time.
a long
ago.
time ago,
real.
bro. And very quickly 17 is gonna feel like it was a long time ago too. So
I just
weird.
I just love the people that like we have become. You know, like
Oh yeah, for sure.
it's crazy how much change has happened, for better or for worse, but like mainly for better. It's like a lot has happened.
Yeah.
And I know like a lot of people have like said that this podcast really helped them, but I just hope they realize that they have helped us a lot too.
Yeah, that's really nice. I hadn't thought about it like that. They helped us a lot, and we helped them a lot. Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah, it's really cute.
Self reflection is such a important part for our podcast. That's basically what we do, and I think that's just the best form of self love, because you care about how you feel and what everything makes you feel, and if there's like something that you can take away from this, always reflect and love yourself.
Love yourself even more. You know what? Let's see if a little shoddy I know will respond to us. Vroom. He never picks up his phone, so this could be interesting, guys. We'll catch him on Discord. Probably on Discord, guys. Place your bets now. Is he gonna answer?
No.
No.
Oh, damn.
All right, let's see if we could get him on Discord, guys. If not, it's your loss.
There's no other option.
No other option. He's on Discord. I'm gonna call him on Discord.
Gotcha. Wait, is that only voice?
Yeah.
Hello. Hello.
That game of Valorant, what's up?
Yo.
Oh my God, this dude.
Answer.
What happened? What happened?
Bro, it's her 3rd birthday.
You bugging what?
You're on the air right now.
You're on air. It's her 3rd birthday. It's our baby's 3rd birthday, dog.
Wait, oh shit, really?
Yeah, dude.
Well, by the time it airs.
By the time it airs
Yeah.
next week, it's Friday. It's the 3rd birthday.
That's crazy. How?
For real,
It's
right?
been 3 years.
3 fucking years. Any words to the
I
listeners?
don't know. This is too last second. Like,
You're in a game of
Bro,
Valorant.
like, I'm in a game.
Pause.
You're gonna hear fuck.
Yo,
Um.
I'm sad I missed 2 anniversaries, but
Oh my god,
Wait,
bro.
What?
The last one was COVID.
God,
Holy,
dang,
we should have
dude.
flew you
Oh my
out.
God.
yeah, bro, I should have gotten like a VIP fucking first class flight.
For real. What the fuck? Why didn't we fly him out for the weekend?
Yo.
Hey guys. But yeah, you want to say your thanks to the listeners?
Yeah, for 3 years. I can't believe there's like some people that were that loyal for 3 years to listen to us. And just seeing like everyone repost a lot of things and like they're actually sad about us splitting apart. That was very sweet. So thank you to everyone who keeps listening. I really appreciate it all. It's so sweet.
Aw.
Oh, did you guys
We
hear
miss
Isaac's
you, Isaac.
voice? We missed you.
His little profile
I'll be back
picture.
in like December. We'll have a Christmas episode.
Yeah, bro. Yo, you ready
I
for
can't
that
wait for our
dinner?
Christmas. I was literally about to
Yeah.
say that. I was
Yo, we're gonna do like
literally
a
about to
podcast
say
every
that.
day in December to make up for that shit.
For real, yo, a podcast every single day, dude. Yeah, Isaac's winter break is a month long.
What?
All of us
So
is a
I'm gonna
month
be-
long.
Wait, really? Oh, never
Us
mind.
too?
Not jealous.
Yeah, well, what are you
Damn.
doing, Isaac?
For winter break?
Yeah, you have a
Big
month.
Bear.
I'm come back. I'm coming back.
We're doing something big.
We're doing
Yo,
something big.
Airbnb in the mountains, make a dinner in the snow.
Oh my god.
That's
That
awesome.
would
my
be
party.
great.
For real.
Welcome back party.
For real. Okay. All right, Isaac. Good luck at Berkeley. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed hearing from him. Win the game.
We miss you.
Thank you.
Take care.
Bye, Isaac.
Bye.
Broop. Told you you'd be on Discord. Motherfucker answered in top notch speed.
Would that be like 12 days of like Podmas?
On the 12 days of Podmas, my podcast gave to me
Yeah.
1, or is it touch with 12?
It starts with 1, no?
No, 12.
No, it starts.
Ah.
12.
One,
Yeah.
words of wisdom.
2, words of affirmation. 3, words of hate. And 5, little podcasters. Sorry, I know. It's for the
4,
best.
All good.
4 tears.
Damn. Yo, now, that,
Cheers.
honestly,
Drops.
that got me excited for Christmas.
Oh my god, right?
If we rent an Airbnb in the
No, that would
mountains.
be-
little
but like for a
snow.
good amount of time. you
Yeah,
know?
this
Like, a
time.
good
It has
amount
to be
of time.
more than a week.
minimum. Week
More
More
than a
than a week, yeah.
Oh wow, okay.
Week
No,
minimum.
for sure.
Oh, wow. Do I have that much
That's a real
time?
vacation.
Okay, sure.
Take your math book. I don't care.
For real. I don't care. We'll do math in the- Oh my god, that's wild. Anyways, guys, again, thank you for listening to everyone. We owe you everything and more. We hope Sunday we get to meet you and talk to you guys.
Meet
Kind of
me.
mad because this episode was kind of last minute and we totally forgot to include. Should I like unsend?
No, don't.
What are we doing? Because we were usually in talk to you guys.
Okay, this goes out to Maya.
Let's go out to Maya.
Maya, wait, what's her last name?
Maybe just Maya.
Maya, I don't know your last name.
You know who
but-
you are.
Yeah, you know who you are.
I follow you.
Shout out to Maya because she was supposed to be on the podcast like 2nd year anniversary. But little Gael is a forgetful person, so sorry about that.
You're
But-
here in spirit.
Yeah, and you were supposed to join us for this
Yes.
one, but we totally forgot this was gonna be our 3rd year podcast episode. So just know that we really do appreciate you
and we
your
love you.
unconditional support. So much love for you, and hopefully we get to talk have a episode where we
we
talk
will.
to you guys
Yeah.
soon because we haven't done that in a while.
Oh, we will.
But yeah,
Alright.
we appreciate everybody. But this special little shout out goes to Maya.
Yeah.
Not to create competition.
Yeah, but if you want to shout out, you need to be a good listener like Maya.
But then they're gonna know more about you.
Never mind. No.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you in the next episode. Bye.
Bye.